Okay, everything's A-okay. You ready to put a, I don't know, some sweet guitar behind it? All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Oh, wow. BOOZHOO, and welcome back to the show. And let's call that song Wada Heya Heda Ho. We just wrote that. And today, I'd like to read something. This is for all the mothers out there. This is it's kind of like a poem by Michael Murphy, and it's called What I Meant to Say. What I Meant to Say by Michael Murphy. What I meant to say was, how can I possibly say goodbye to the person who was the first to hold me, the first to feed me, and the first to make me feel loved? From a distance, I watched you move about, doing the mundane tasks that to everyone else seem so routine. But for me, the tasks you lovingly completed year after year built and reinforced the foundation, the structure that made my world a safe and comfortable place to grow. All that I am and all that I have can be traced back to you. Whatever accomplishments I have made along the way would not have occurred without first believing in myself. And you were the person who always believed in me. Now on my own, I am amazed at the number of times I hear your voice come through my mouth. This ventriloquist act was at first most irritating, but now warms me, as I've come to understand that there is a part of you that will live on in me forever. When time parts us, I pray that you will reach across from the other side again to touch my face and whisper in my ear. For your warm and gentle presence in my life. For this, I will always be most thankful. Yes, Mother, you inspire me. I didn't know if I'd get through that or not. So there you go. That's for every mother, but especially my mom. Giza kain, Mama. I love you, Mother. And you have been watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast that honors their mothers. I will see you again. Oh, and this has been Michael Lyons on the guitar. Nice job there. Thanks. I'm just gonna dance the morning away. You're gonna dance the morning away, baby? I'm gonna dance with my mouth open so I look like a complete idiot. Okay, BOOZHOO. How you doing, everybody? How you doing, sweetheart? Oh, I'm doing great. I love that poem. It makes me cry. Yeah, I know. That's a real tearjerker, huh? What I meant to say was, Mino Giga Jeb. Good morning. And welcome to the live stream BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast about Ojibwe language and what's that other thing, Nij? Culture. And culture. I always forget the culture part. This is a very cultured show. Would you like some caviar? Nah. Oh, you got high culture. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha, the lovely and the talented. BOOZHOO Gakina, hello everyone. And the rock star cartoonist himself. I mean, like, who else would you be? I don't know. Michael Lyons. Say hello, Niji. BOOZHOO, everyone, welcome to the show. And me? Who am I? Oh, nobody. Just a little fella named NANABOOZHOO. Trying to speak truth in a world of lies. Is that what you're doing? Yep. I don't know. I'm also handing out gold stars to good people. People like Missy, our own cousin. First in line. Gets a gold star today, sweetie. Hey, Missy. Good morning. Gold star for Missy. And a silver star for the bear called Wally. For the bear, which is Wally. From the bear from the house of Wally. Greetings, bear from the house, Wally. And gets a silver star. Always learning's here. Let's always learning, pulling up third with a, what is it, a bronze star? Bronze star for always learning. BOOZHOO, always learning. And Joseph, you get an admonishment. Where were you? We've been waiting and waiting. Did you know Missy, Wally Bear, and Always Learning were here way before you? We're not even going to give you a star. No star for Joseph. No star for you, Joe. It's about time. Actually, you know what? We should be nicer to Joseph. No, Joseph's got to show up on time. Yeah, but see, Joseph is old style. Joseph says ladies first. And, I mean, with the loosest definition of the term lady, you know, that would be Missy. Job was probably there, and he was probably opening the door, saying, "Oh, after you, madame." You know, ladies first. That's our way, you guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, whatever. You know, I'm a warrior. Ladies first. You got to be polite. And the old style? This is what tradition is. Today's discussion on Ojibwe culture. I'm going to talk a little today about tradition. What do we mean when we say we follow tradition? What tradition? Whose tradition? Traditionally, when we talk about tradition, kind of think to yourself, what did my grandma do? That's where traditions are started. And your grandma was brought up in a world where ladies came first. You open the door and you were like Joseph. So if I have to listen to any more of the BOOZHOO crew crying around, oh, that Joseph, he's so late all the time. Well, let me tell you something. Joseph is traditional. He lets the ladies in first. After you, madame. And this has been. Has that been your talk of your wisdom? You're sharing wisdom of the traditions? Yes, dear. NANABOOZHOO's moment of tradition. What am I talking about? I have no idea. Hey, Diane's here. BOOZHOO, Diane. What's going on, Diane? Do you know what I'm trying to say here, Diane, to these kids? They don't know nothing about their traditions. They're like, oh, what do I care? Tradition. I'm here to tear things up. I'm halfway. Abatuse. It's Wednesday. And the kids today, they're like, oh, we don't care about the old ways. No, listen to this. It's called a rap. Yeah, living in the hood. Blah, blah, blah. This is real music, old timer. Well, let me tell you something. There was a time when your grandfathers and your grandmothers, we did the safety dance, huh, sweetie? You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Because your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. And let me tell you, what you kids are doing in the clubs, that's not dancing. Dancing, you're like 6 feet apart. You know, in the 80s, we were already social distancing. You know, that was the tradition. You didn't even touch your dance partner. You just put your hands by your side. You pogoed. You jumped up and down in place. Don't stand so close to me. That was called dancing, okay? Okay, you kids? You don't know nothing. Quit chewing out the BOOZHOO crew. Well, sometimes, sweetie, Abatuse, halfway. This is our word for Wednesday. And I know a lot of you 30-year-olds are going, oh, I'm having my midlife crisis. Midlife. What, you're going to die at 60? Would you calm down? It's not a midlife until you're halfway through your life. I'm saying 36. You can have a midlife at 36. You're only going to live to be 72. What, you think you get to eat tombstone pizza your whole life and live long and prosper? No. It's right on the packaging. It says tombstone. If you eat tombstone pizza, you end up with a tombstone by the time you're actually probably 62. Anyway, halfway. Abatuse. How's our song go? Abatuse, who say? I got to say, abatuse, hey, abatuse. Halfway through the week or Wednesday. But who cares about that, sweetie? Not me. Hey, why can't you show me some RESPECT? I don't have to. You're a dude. You gotta show me some RESPECT. Tabadoo-goo-da-doo-doo. RESPECT. Monadend Damoan. Is it Monadend Damoan or is it just Monadend Moan? I think it's Monadend Damoan. Monadend Damoan. Respect. Monadend Damoan. RESPECT. I'll respect Aretha Franklin. Because she will break your heart when she sings, looking out on the morning rain. Okay? Fine, granted. But don't ask me to respect that man in a wig, Tina Turner. You think Tina Turner's a dude? Yes. They were mocking us. Left a good job in the city. Hey, look at me in my go-go skirt and fishnet stockings on clearly man legs. And everybody was like, oh, she's so beautiful, Tina Turner. Tina Turner. Tina Turner has turned into a woman somewhere along the line, but she was definitely born a dude. So, Mana Dane Moen, sometimes if you respect a person, it doesn't mean you agree to their delusion. Listen, Tina, if you're watching our show today, and if you're still alive, I have no idea. Nor do I care one way or the other. I respect you too much to lie to you. No, you're not fooling anybody. Okay? I have enough respect to call you Tina. And yes, whatever it means to treat a person like a woman, I'm not even sure what that means anymore, sweetie. Well, you don't call your dude friend sweetie. Okay, yeah. I'll call you sweetie and whatever. Honey buns. Whatever it means to treat a person like a woman, I don't know. I agree to pretend that I think you're a woman enough to use your pronouns. She was an overrated singer from the 80s. She is a stunning, beautiful, and brave singer from the 80s who could take a punch. I respect that. You respect that? Yeah. Tina Turner, apparently she got beat up by her old man. What's her old man's name? Ted Turner. Ted Turner. No, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right either. He was famous for something. Ike. I think his name was Ike. Ike Turner? Yeah, Ted Turner owns like YouTube or something. But in the movie of Tina Turner's life, I don't know why I'm talking about this. He's always slapping her up. Sing better. And I wonder now what they didn't say. Did Ike get fooled by Tina? And it was only on their wedding night when he finally saw her, in her birthday suit for the first time, that he was like, "What, dude? I thought you were a girl." She's like, "Excuse me, I am a woman. I'm Tina Turner, I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. I want my money back." Could you imagine if you called for a hooker and Tina Turner showed up? "I'm your private dancer." No, thank you. I specifically requested a female. You can privately dance your way out of the hotel room. I want none of that. Mana Dane Moen. Which, coincidentally enough, speaking of Tina Turner, which I have no idea why I'm trashing today. I know. You're going to make Tina Turner fans cry. I know. Sorry for any Tina Turner fans out there. But in the Anishinaabe way, in the laws of the 7 grandfather teachings, what we sometimes refer to as the Nijwaswi Anishinaabe Apitendagozi. Apitendagozi, values. The Anishinaabe Apitendagozi, the Indian values, there were 7 of them. And one of them was respect. Mana Dane Moen. And every one of the values had an animal, or Bigfoot. I don't like categorizing Bigfoot as an animal. But I guess he's somewhat, I don't think he's a mythological creature, so I guess he's an animal. But respect is symbolized by the prairie cow, which is what we call the buffalo. Moshkore Bejike. Moshkore Bejike. Moshkore means the prairie. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word. And the clouds are not cloudy or gray, and the skies are not cloudy or gray. What, you want it to be perpetually a blue sky? That's called a drought. All right? It can't just be blue sky all the time. Quit your whining. Oh, it's cloudy today. I've had it, sweetie. I know, you're not very tolerant today. I got no tolerance. I respect people too much to lie to them. I'm going to tell you how I really feel. When a day in the mowing. I don't know, sweetie. The prairie cow, buffalo. Oh, look at us, the brave Dakota, riding our horses into battle. I put on some war paint and I grabbed a spear. I'm going to go on a buffalo hunt. Yeah, didn't you see Dances with Wolves? You could die doing that. Or you could slowly walk up to a buffalo. Offer him a little bit of, hey, here's some grass. Here, boy. Pat him on the thing, and then just club him over the head. Buffalo hunt. It's not that big a deal, you guys. Would you calm down? Here's a story. You ever wonder why the Anishinaabe, the Ojibwe people, pushed the Dakota people out of northern Minnesota? There's a great migration that nobody talks about when the Ojibwe, the Algonquin speakers, that's what we do here. We speak Ojibwe. So everybody from Ojibwe's, Anishinaabe, whatever you want to call this, to the Potawatomi, to the, I guess Blackfeet even speak Algonquin. I don't know. Big old migration from the East Coast and Canada and stuff came and eventually ran into the Dakota, who were peaceably minding their own darn business in northern Minnesota. As the story goes, and I'll do a short version. There was an Ojibwe medicine man, had a vision. He had to travel west until he came to the place where food grows on the water. And so when he packed up his stuff and he told the people that Gitche wanted them to move, and he kept canoeing out, and they went through the Great Lakes and they did all this stuff, and they finally came to the place where Manoomin, the wild rice, was growing, and it looked like it was right on the water. It's like, man, if you wanted to harvest this rice, you'd have to take a canoe out with your wife. You'd have to have pole and knuckers, And they went, this is our home. But the problem was, the lazy Dakota were already here. And the Dakota, they didn't harvest the wild rice. You know what they did, sweetie? They ate hot dogs. Yeah, they ate hot dogs. Literally. Instead of harvesting wild rice and trapping rabbits and hunting the deer and, doing noble Native American stuff like we do, the lazy Dakota, they would just say, here, boy, come on. I can't whistle. Whatever, Here, boy. And a puppy would come up, and then they just slit his throat and just drink his blood and eat. Sometimes they'd roast it. Oh, this delicious dog. And then they were like, hey, what's that out there in the prairie? Oh, look, there's some cows. Let's pretend this is hunting, and we'll go out and kill cows, eat them, and then just whatever, lay down, take a nap. So the noble Ojibwe people, when they came to the Minnesota, you're such a racist. I can't be a racist. I'm an Ojibwe. You're a racist of Dakota. This is just the way I heard the story. Maybe it's not true. Allegedly, the lazy Dakota were, lounging around one day eating their own puppies. When the Ojibwe came along, they said, hey, BOOZHOO, we are the Ojibwe speakers from out east. I had a vision that we would come to this place where food grows on the water. And the Dakota were like, hey, right on, man. You want some hot dogs? And the Ojibways were, what? You eat dogs? Listen, man, our dogs are our friends. They're our brothers. We do not eat our pets. That's gross, you guys. So go on now. And guess what? We're going to harvest your wild rice. And we're going to rename everything in Ojibwe names. And no one will even remember that the Dakota used to live up here. What's this lake you guys are lounging around? Oh, we call this pleasant. Nothing bad ever happens to the Dakota lake. Yeah, well, guess what? Let us do battle. Oh, and by the way, we're the Ojibwe speakers. We got to know the French people real well. And they gave us these guns. I call this one my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. And they started just to waste the Dakota. And they battled until what was formerly, sunny side, good living Dakota, nothing bad happens to Dakota Lake, soon ran red with blood of the Dakota. And they renamed that lake to Red Lake, sweetie. Is that true? That's a dumb story I heard. That lake is named after a battle where there's so much blood. The biggest lake in the state ran red with blood somehow. So dumb. And then, so they ran away scared. And they said, we'll get you back someday. In a couple hundred years here, we're going to invent casinos. We're not going to invent them. We're just going to start them. And then we'll dominate the economic structure of all the, Ojibwe reservations. You just wait and see. Our descendants will avenge us. And they rode off into the Dakota, and eventually Dakota Territory, which was like North and South Dakota, and Nebraska, I guess. Oh yeah, they always get like a extra, the proud Sioux Nation or whatever, and every movie is made about Dakota people, but it was actually the Ojibwe people who first relocated the Dakota. Go on now. Go on now is the Ojibwe word for relocate Ojibwe Dakotas. We're going to rename this to Red Lake. No. And this is a story. Anyway. Hey, sweetie, you want to take a call? A phone call? Sure. You say that like you're asking me. Yeah, do you want to take a call? Yes, I'd love to take a call. What line? Line 2. Line 2. Hello, caller. Welcome to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. You're on the air. Hey there, NANABOOZHOO. How you doing? Well, hey, Tina Turner. Sweetie, it's Tina Turner. I don't think that's Tina Turner. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's speaking? This is George Floyd. George Floyd. I'm so sorry. I got you confused with Tina Turner because Tina Turner is a man too. Yeah, well, lots of people ask me, are you Tina Turner? And I say, no, I'm not Tina Turner. That's a pain in the neck. No, I kid. You shouldn't make jokes about that, George. That's not funny. That was a tragedy that happened. You think it's a tragedy? You should be in my shoes once in a while. That cop, he was a pain in my neck. Yeah, I get it. He loves that one joke, pain in my neck. What can I do for you, George? Hey, I was wondering if I could learn the Ojibwe word of the day. You want to learn the Ojibwe word of the day? Well, we were talking about respect. Manadaindamoan. Respect. Manadaindamoan. Yeah, that's a really good word. You gotta respect the police. You gotta respect the police. Yeah, I hear that. You shouldn't resist arrest, huh? No, let me tell you, I learned that the hard way. And then there's Mushkode Bajike. Means buffalo or prairie cow. Mushkode Bajike. Mushkode Bajike, the prairie cow. The buffalo. Yep, that's the buffalo. Those are such interesting words, NANABOOZHOO. Thanks. What else do we got today? Oh, we also have Dabadain Dizzy Win. Dabadain Dizzy Win means humility. Dabba-dan dizzy win. Dabba-dan dizzy win means humility. I'm going to have to think about that one. Yeah. Maybe I'll talk about humility next. I don't know. And humility, in the 7 Anishinaabe values, is represented by the animal, the wolf, or the ma'ingan. Ma'ingan, the wolf. That's really interesting, Nanaboozhoo. I learned so much from your show. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So how's everything else for you? There's the good days, and there's the bad days. Yeah, same here, I suppose. All right, listen, man, I better get going. We're running out of time. All right. Hey, how do you say goodbye in Ojibwe? Well, we don't really say goodbye, George. We say, I will see you again. Gigawabamin, Minowa. Gigawabamin, Minowa. I'll see you later. I'll see you again, Nanaboozhoo. Gigawabamin, Minowa. That's great. Perfect. Gigawabamin, Minowa, Mr. Floyd. George Floyd. Wow. Yeah. You never know who's going to call in. So, sweetie, how are we doing on time? I think we're at 31 minutes and 18 seconds. The clock is ticking. I'm not disconnected. So, yeah, what were we talking about, sweetie? Dabba-dan dizzy when humility. What does it mean to you to be humble? Humility, not to be all prideful. It's the opposite of pride. The opposite of pride. So does that mean I can't be proud of anything? I can't go, oh, you know what? I'm so proud of, I'm so proud of Michael. Well, you can be proud of other people. You just can't be proud of yourself. You can't be proud of yourself? What if you went on a diet and you lost a lot of weight? You're like, you know what? I haven't had any cookies or muffins, and I went on a walk every day and I drank 3 big bottles of water, and my stomach got flat. And you know what? I finally, I said no to some of my, immediate knee-jerk desires for a change, and I lost some weight. I am proud of myself. What's wrong with that? You're going to go to hell, man. Pride comes before the fall. No. Pride comes before the fall. Yeah, it does. Humility. The wolf, my Inga. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, wise men say, as the song goes, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with Nanaboozhoo. Nah. Humility. I think humility, we talked about this once. And again, I'm only giving advice to young people who might watch us someday. That's the weird thing about our show. What's that? Most of the BOOZHOO crew are grown-ups. Full-on grown-ups. A lot of grandparents. We get a lot of goodwill from, hey, I'm going to tell my grandkids to watch your show. I'm like, really? We're going to be making fun of the transgenders from time to time. But go ahead. But also, I like... So most of our viewers are adults. But we're kind of designed for children. And I do know, like kids do. When kids watch it, they like it. So this is I don't give advice to people, my elders, which as the days go by are fewer and fewer. And I don't usually give advice to ladies. I'll let you do that, sweetie. Yeah, I'll tell the women what to think. Yeah, I don't like to tell people what to think or believe. Unless you're a young man. So young people, listen up. Listen to your old Uncle Nanaboozhoo. Humility. Humility isn't, thinking you're dumb and fat and a loser and you got no talent and you got crooked teeth. Why are you looking at me? Oh, no reason. Humility isn't feeling bad about yourself. But when you really do become cool, when you actually do live up to your potential and kind of achieve a certain level of self-actualization, you realize that when you become secure, then you no longer have the pride. You give Gitchimanadu the credit for everything. I mean, I know that poem we read in the beginning was like, oh, mommy, I wouldn't be anything without you. But the reality is, none of us would be anything without the Creator. And humility, I think that the wisdom of the 7 Anishinaabe values, we value humility. Because this is what happens. I can speak boldly, and it sounds like I'm being prideful. But when your heart breaks, when you go through some tragedy, and for some of you guys, I know you go through tragedy even when you're little. People die, your pet dies, grandma dies, whatever. Bad stuff happens all the time. When you get knocked down, they call it, you're humiliated. You're humbled. When you get humble, then you tap into this greatness. You go, wait a second. I'm not just this pathetic flesh body of bad decisions. I'm actually connected to the source of all creation. I'm connected to the great architect, the great artist, the great composer of reality, Gitchimanadu, the great spirit. And, something cool can happen only after you get humble. And I say this because I used to be prideful, meaning I actually was trying, to compete against everybody, and I was trying to justify, make myself cool and all this stuff. And then when you finally get knocked down to your knees, as not Arnold Schwarzenegger, I hate that guy now. Yeah, you mean Sylvester Stallone? Sylvester Stallone. I'm going to tell you something you already know. I don't care how tough you are. Life is going to hit you harder than anything else. It'll knock you down to your knees and keep you there if you let it. But it's not about how hard you get hit. It's about, can you take the hits and keep moving forward? You gotta take the hits and keep moving forward. Anyway, so behaving with humility, like, oh, here's one, an open mind. If you think you know it all already, if you think you're smart and you think you have learned so much and you have pride, oh, I'm so smart. I've been guilty of this too. When I used to believe in evolution and the Big Bang and the spinning globe model and all that, I couldn't be told that I was wrong until I got humbled. I got humiliated a little bit and went, wait a second. I believe all kinds of dumb stuff that's wrong. And then your mind opens up and you go, wait a second. Okay, so if I don't know it all already, then you can learn new stuff. You go, oh, what do you know? I didn't already have the whole question of life figured out. And then you learn new stuff. And it's kind of like, kids will get this. You know how like in video games, when you gotta play for a while and at first you're not good at it, and you keep dying and you just go over and over again. But eventually you sort of master that one level until it's easy. You can just jump through stuff and you get to the next level. And now it's a little harder. But you're also a little better at it. You get new tools or new weapons or new abilities. Life is kind of like that. If you're a musician, and let's say you want to be a rock star, and you're singing now, and your dream is like, how can I just fast track this thing? I gotta get on TV. If only I was on America's Got Talent and somebody could see me shine like the precious diamond I am. If they could just see me shine on like a crazy diamond, sweetie. Yeah. Then maybe I could, but it doesn't really work that way. I mean, yeah, you can sell your soul to the devil and he'll give you a record contract and whatever. You end up Alec Baldwin. But when you're a musician or whatever, like playing guitar players that get this. At first you can play just little intros of songs. Crazy Train, doo-doo, 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 I. And then you learn chords. And now there's a whole new bunch of options you can open up to. Now you can sing along. You can sing along with your chords. Then pretty soon you learn that you can play solos on top of chords. You get your friends to play the chording part, and now you're going to sing on your guitar. Well, life's kind of like that with whatever you're into. Because you will kind of develop, and then the world will change for you. Once you're humble, and get this, I'm going to say this boldly. Try praying once in a while. That's the little hidden secret that a lot of people who get what they want out of life aren't telling you. That at some point, they got on their knees and they repented and they're like, "Get you, Madu, I'm really sorry. Would you take some pity on me? I want this and that." Be direct. Send me a good man. Send me an angel. Whatever. It's okay. You can ask for stuff. I've struggled with that. It's like, I have too much humility. I'm not going to just boldly go tell the creator to do something for me. Hey, you know what? Why don't you send me some more Patreon subscribers? How dare I? But I did learn in the last couple of years. When I was humiliated in life, just can't make it on the outside world. Every job ends up in disgrace and embarrassment and firing. One way of looking at my life was that everything I tried, I ultimately ended in failure. I failed over and over again until I backed my way into a job where I couldn't get fired. A live stream chat with the BOOZHOO crew. But it was almost like answered prayer when I finally sat down and went, you know what? Get you, Manadu. If it's cool with you, is there any way I could just do the show? I know it's childish. I know I'm asking to somehow be exempt from having to work for my survival. That's not our way. And then what happens? I prayed in a sincere, humble way. Bam, 2 days later, $2,000 comes rolling in from GoFundMe campaigns. Friends come out of the woodwork. Hey, here's some Junia. Don't go to work today. Just go make a live stream. Over and over again. And then the months went by and stuff happened. Got gigs and whatever. And it felt like, oh wow, I just stepped up into another level on the video game. Maybe I'm in deeper in the Matrix, sweetie. You're so deep in the Matrix, you gotta take the red pill. Should I take the red pill, sweetie? Hey, Jessica Waboose is here. Bonjour, Jessica. Hey, Jessie Bear. Or Jessie Bear. She's not a bear, she's a rabbit. She's Jessie Rabbit. Ah, la, la, la. Hoka, hey. Wow, we haven't read much of the comments. Papa Bagosh is back. All spook Algonquin. All spook Algonquin. Let's talk about the Algonquin spooks. There's spirits that roam around these woods, and they all speak Ojibwe. They're called the Algonquin spooks. 'Cause today, Bijapun, snow comes. Bijapun, the snow is coming. We, Bijapun, it will snow. Or what is it? We? Yeah, we is the future. Don't think me unkind. Words are hard to find. But yeah, so that's all I know. Take it for what you want. I don't want to be, and again, as, what's his name? Alec Baldwin once said, consider the source. You're going to take advice from a felt face like me? Well, good luck to you. No. But like even just talking about this stuff, it's a combination of humility and it's not pride, but it takes a certain amount of confidence to get on YouTube, to just, like when you got started, it was sort of cocky to go, yeah, okay, hey, hello everyone, look at us. We're going to teach you something. I'm going to tell you something you already know. Life ain't all sunshine and roses. You know what I'm saying, Neej? What? Words of wisdom, Lloyd. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. You want to get up here, sweetie? Sure. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let Natasha get up here and, make words come out of her pretty little pie hole. My pie hole? Your pretty little word hole. My mouth. Yeah. Let's see. If you'd like to support the show, you can support us on Patreon. Oh, and miigwech to the new person who just signed up yesterday. Doggone it, sweetie. We got to start writing down their names. I know. I forgot his name. You know who you are. Thank you so much. It was a big one, too. It was $20 a month. If you sign up on Patreon, you can give us a little bit every month, and we will send you a book like Dog and Maingan. Dog and Maingan. We also have a PayPal account and a GoFundMe account, and you can order Ojibwe language books like Dog and Maingan by the rockstar cartoonist Michael Lyons, and at Amazon.com. Up next, the lovely and the talented Natasha. I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Minoa. Sweetie, would you teleport me? No. Let's play the commercial. Oh, right. Never mind. Here's a commercial for a Dog and Maingan. And up next, Natasha. Dog and Maingan.
By Michael Lyons. Hello.
BOOZHOO.
1.
Beijig.
1 dog.
Beijig Anamosh.
1 wolf.
Beijig Maingan.
2.
Nij.
2 eagles.
Nij Migazi Wug.
3.
Niswe.
3 bears.
Niswe Mukwug.
4.
Niwin.
4 raccoons.
Niwin Asivanang. Nanan.
5. 5 deer.
Nanan Wawa Shigeshi Wug.
6.
Ningod Waswe.
6 crows.
Ningod Waswe Andeg Wug.
7.
Nij Waswe.
7 rabbits.
Nij Waswe Wabuzug.
8.
Ish Waswe.
8 squirrels.
Ish Waswe Misa Jitamug.
9.
Jangaswe.
9 birds.
Jangaswe Beneshi Yug.
10.
Midaswe.
10 butterflies.
Midaswe Mamengwa. Miigwech.
Thank you. Dog and Maingan.
By Michael Lyons. Available at
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. Hey, everybody. BOOZHOO. BOOZHOO Gakina. Hello, everyone. And, yeah, how you doing? On this obtuse morning. Obtuse. Giga Jabe. Obtuse. Oh, Robin, just Robin gave us $10, sweetie. Oh, really? Miigwech, Robin. Miigwech. Robin just gave us some Junia. Because she's supporting the show on our chat, too. We never mentioned that. You can give us a super chat. And if you give us a super chat, we'll dedicate a song to you. Looking out on Robin, just Robin. She gave us a $10 super chat. And then we can go and have some eggs and coffee at Country Kitchen after this. Do you want to do that? Yeah, I really do want to go back to Country Kitchen this morning. We haven't been there in so long. I know, it's been like a month or something. I hear it's recycled. It's remodeled in there. Yeah, they had a grand opening or something. We're going to go to Country Kitchen because Robin gave us a tip. Miigwech. Hey, you know what? I bet you that's enough to get us over the $100 hump. Yeah. On Facebook, or where are we? YouTube? If you give a super chat, it goes into like an account or whatever, but you can't cash it out until you get over $100. So we've been doing this for months, and it's been going up and up and up. And now I think with Robin's tip, it was like 85 last time I checked. So no, that's 95. We're close anyway. Anybody want to give us $5 more on a super chat? Then we'll have over $100. And we can go to Country Kitchen. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be begging for money. That's not our way. Why can't I have a little humility? Why can't I have a little more respect for the viewers? Manadane RESPECT. Tell you what that means to me. You know what respect means to me? Is that you should bow down to all my political beliefs. Show me a little respect by using my pronouns. I prefer your highness. And what else? What is respect, sweetie?
I don't know.
It's a weird thing. Because I kind of saw, I don't want to say how old I'm getting. Because I want to keep that sort of ambiguous in case I ever get pregnant. But it used to be when I was a kid. I mean, that song, RESPECT, was definitely a big song. There was definitely an idea of respect in the popular consciousness culture or whatever. And it was like, hey, why don't you show some respect for us women? Why don't you show a little respect to whatever? Don't disrespect Mother Earth. Quit littering. Show some respect. Those are your elders there. Get up, let her sit where you're sitting. Show some respect for their age. There's a lot of that. But you never heard the word offended. Nobody ever said, you offend me. There might have been some people who would say things were offensive. If you were like a church lady, those beer commercials are offensive. They're showing women in bikinis selling beer. It's offensive to women. But then somewhere along the way, I think it's tied up with the anti-bullying campaigns in schools. We started kind of making kids, we took away the shame of being bullied. We told kids, don't ever get into a fight at school. Go and just tell the teacher. And that list of things which are unacceptable to be called and words you can never use kept getting bigger and bigger. You know, when I was a little girl, the adults didn't weigh in on terms like, if they heard a kid call his buddy a homo, that wasn't, hey, young man, do you know the word homo is a hate word? You know, you could call your friends retards and nobody said anything. And then in the 80s or something, we started saying, hey, that's hate speech. Did you know a person with Down syndrome is just as valuable a human being as you are? I'm like, yeah, he's just a retarded human. What? No, he's my friend. I call all my friends retards. You're the one who connected his Down syndrome with why I called him a retard. I told him he was a retard because he didn't pass when I was open. It's not a hate word. But we started making victims. We started to protect all the victims when they're kids. Don't bully. And don't fight. Don't stand up for yourself. Tell a teacher. They'd stop telling kids, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And they made it okay to be, that word is offensive to me. I can't believe you said that. How dare you? You know? And now it's like, oh, I'm offended. So you should be embarrassed to be offended. I find that offensive to my sensibilities. Ooh. It's like odors used to be offensive. I mean, like, it could be something real in the world. Oh, look, this is where we dump the fish guts. There's a big hole in the ground out here. It's a gut pit. We put a big board over the thing, and you'll pour the guts in there, and it'll rot, and it'll be. This is a true story, by the way. You ever wonder what happens to the guts when you clean fish at a resort? It all gets piled into one hole in the ground on the outskirts of the campsite. And that thing is so stinky that if you leave the lid up, it'll stink up the whole resort. But we would say, oh, that smell is offensive. It stinks objectively. No one's going to say, hey, my truth is that's a bed of roses. No, it's an offensive smell. Some things are offensive. Words, that's so relative, Well, it really depends on who says the word to whom and in what context. Where's my N-word? No, you're using that wrong. You're my nigga. Easy. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nigger. That's so offensive. Don't joke like that. We're going to censor your YouTube channel. But respect. So I don't know. What is respect? So respect can also be like an inward, outward thing. We live in an age where everyone's like demanding respect. Respect my pronouns. Respect my, It used to be respect my privacy. Have you been vaccinated? Do I have to answer that? Have you been circumcised? Well, I'm just asking. I want to know if you're vaccinated because, just be respectful. Get yourself vaccinated. Just in case. But, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, respect. Show respect. Respect your elders. Oh, but it's an outward thing too. Sometimes respect's like, oh, I really respect. Like I'm in awe of certain people. When I was a little girl, those people were always rock stars. But then as I grew up, I lost all my mundane moment for rock stars. One by one, it was like, shut up. You're so dumb. Why did I respect you, Gene Simmons? Did you see Gene Simmons' tweet yesterday? Oh, about this Flat Earth Society? Yeah, he's such a retard. I know. So Gene Simmons apparently has never heard anything that has to do with the Flat Earth awakening, or whatever you want to call it. And he quotes this thing that has been... I'm not even going to get into it. But he goes, oh, ha ha, look. From the Flat Earth Society. People believe the earth is flat around the globe. People around the globe believe the earth is flat. Ha ha, they're so dumb. I don't even want to get into... Anyway, so Gene Simmons is just an idiot. But there was a time when I was a little girl, and I respect that guy. He can rock and roll all night and party every day. But then, then I learn about, Michelangelo. And then I go, oh, you know what? I do respect that guy. I want to know what made him tick. Was he a real human being? Was he an angel? I don't know. Such an amazing artist. I have respect for it. I respect that. Wow. I really, really admire it. That can be respect too. And I think if you have that kind of respect, like respect for the world, where you appreciate stuff and go, wow. You know what's really amazing? We always look at everything that's wrong in the world, and then you don't ever appreciate just, hey, by the way, how about plumbing? Yeah, how about that? We can just flush our indoor plumbing every day. Every house all over the country, it works really well. I know. I mean, when it really comes down to it, how often do you really have to worry about the plumbing in your house? Maybe once a year, we have to address like frozen pipes or clogged drain or something. The technology, the foresight, the management of our common sewer system in every city in America, I have respect for that. We are badass. Let's give a little credit to the Western first world achievements. The toilet and sewer systems. Much respect. Inventor of the indoor toilet flushing thingy. I say that now, it's probably going to plug up today. Yeah. So what else, baby doll? As I talk about how much I appreciate the convenience of indoor plumbing. I think that's all the time we have for today, baby doll. You want to tell them thank you for listening and that I said thanks? Sure. Michael, you got anything you want to add before I sign out? No, just tell them I said thanks. All right. Well, everybody, want to say miigwech on behalf of Michael Lyons, the rock star cartoonist, and NanaBOOZHOO, the star of the show. No. I want to say miigwech bizendawiyeg. Thank you so much for listening. And miigwech ganawabiyeg. Thank you for watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha. This is NANABOOZHOO. Okay, hey, miigwech. This is Michael Lyons. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow. And I will see you again. Gigawabamin Minawa. Well, sweetie, I think you know what to do. 1 to teleport. Make it so, number 1.